Okay, we're ready for Daytona, right?
Daytona, NASCAR brought rain to the country again, didn't it?
Yeah. Typical Daytona, I guess. The race started, and they ran like 20 or 30 laps, and I said, when are they going to throw the green flag? Because nobody passed. Nobody looked like they just happened to be running 180 mile an hour, still 45,
Yeah, but it didn't take them long to wreck.
No.
One touched one, then one had to come down and took 2 cars out. Well, it took more than that out, and
we
took
ended up getting Jimmie.
and it got the 3 car too. But
Yeah.
I don't know, Richard. The car's different from in mine your day, but ain't many people around that were still around when we first went. And the racing's changed. So, and all I heard before the race is safe fuel. And
at one time, Dale, they was running less than 180 mile an hour, and they wasn't even running wide open down the straightaway, but nobody was passing nobody. You know what I mean?
Saving
they
fuel.
They was just trying to save fuel, and it's a heck of a deal when you're racing, and then you got to save something. You want to save the car, but you never thought about fuel.
Yeah, saving fuel. We never thought about that.
No.
We've tried to save tires because you've told me before that if it was working good enough, you could save the right front or save the right rear the way it was set up. But no, saving fuel wasn't a big part of it. Now, we've run out of fuel before, and stuff like that, but we didn't have all the technology that they have now to keep us from doing it.
They know exactly how much they can run, what RPMs they got to run, the whole deal.
What really helped gas mileage back years ago was a big gas tank. I mean,
I guess it did.
And
it just went along there and nothing happened. They made them pit stops, and everybody got separated. And I said, this is good. Then the first thing you know, they all got back together again.
Well, it was all set up that the Fords come in, the Chevrolets come in, the Toyotas come in, like you say. Then they line back up, and next thing you know, they're in another bunch. And I don't know, Richard, but they had a crowd, even on Monday, after, and I'm sure.
It wound up being pretty interesting in the long run, but you had to watch it all. But there was so much just running, and you got to be beside it, and next time he'd be in front, next lap the other can be in front.
Yeah.
But anyhow, I think they just got the cars too even with each other. You know what I mean? Because there was some of those cars that wound up way in the back was good enough to run up front for a while, but then they got caught in traffic and they couldn't get back up there.
Well, they was 2 or 3 drivers, good drivers. The 22, he finally throwed caution to the wind and got out there, and the 11 car, he kind of beat his own drum too. You know what I mean? So, but no disrespect to him. That's just, and golly, the 12 car. I mean, he hit a ton 2 different times.
Well, he tore himself up Thursday night.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, and it shows the camera, and it gives the impact, but they don't seem to move around that much.
It showed when the 43 crashed, and he's running along there, and then somebody hits him, he gets sideways, and then somebody hits him, and he's turning that wheel. Then somebody hits him again, and turned that wheel, and the first thing I know, he wound up drove straight in the pit.
Well, when they had the camera on that, it just broke my heart that he was in that wreck. But I'm sitting at home watching it. I don't know where you're at, but I seen the red tape on the steering wheel was still at the top, so I figured the wheels were still okay.
It tore all the fenders, but they got lucky and didn't hit another wheel.
Well, but one thing about these cars, Richard, they are tough. The bodies are.
They are.
But the suspension.
I think it showed on one time on TV where the 8 car slipped up in front of somebody and hit the wall.
Yeah.
And they don't pay no attention to it anymore. If that had been a metal car, he would have had to stop.
Oh, yeah. No, he'd have probably wrecked because it blowed the tires.
But anyhow, it wound up, and it really got confusing there at last when they wrecked the 1 car. And I didn't know whether there's 1 lap to go or 2 laps or whether it was the white flag or what it was.
But, there's another thing. They got to go back and check and see when that caution light comes on and where you're at. And I was afraid, you know who we was pulling for. I was afraid some of those cars that wrecked would be in front of the 43 car, but when it come up eighth, I after whatever thing they went through in the 42, wasn't a great day, but wasn't a bad day compared to what everybody else done.
No, it was a good day starting off with Toyota from the standpoint
but
that we finished the race with 2 cars.
Yeah, and Jimmie was still running too,
right.
but
he got hurt pretty bad in that first wreck.
Yeah. But they right now, as we talk, there's some teams really scrambling to get ready for Atlanta because they ain't putting it off just because there's a bunch of cars tore up. I'll tell you that.
No, Atlanta's going to be somewhat like Daytona because it's a wide open racetrack now, or right at wide open. But the cars have to handle a little bit better at Atlanta than they do in Daytona. Daytona's got enough bank and it's long enough.
The track's getting worn up, but it's got enough bank that it's still they'll qualify wide open for sure. Yeah. You know, with new tires. But you know, getting back to Daytona, used to. Okay, so there was 40 cars, and somebody could get back 100 yards and still wasn't going to lose the draft, Richard. And years ago, if you dropped back that much, not many years ago, you was out of the draft.
If you lost the draft 4 or 5 car lengths, you was out of it.
And Lord have mercy, whatever's changed in racing.
The speed wise is the way they run these races. Even the guys, when they was running hard, a lot of times they didn't run wide open all the way around the racetrack.
Yeah.
And I don't understand that.
I don't either. and that's just come about lately, you know, because I don't know what to do to change it to please me, but they had the stands full, and I don't know how many people watched it on television, and it's another Daytona in the books.
Yeah. It kept you interest all the way till the thing was over with, that's for sure.
Yeah, and it was getting close to my bedtime, but I was still watching the 42 and the 43.
All right, we go to Atlanta and see what we got there. Daytona, it is different than Atlanta, but Atlanta's got a lot of the same qualities and same deals that happen.
Yeah, I wonder what the miles per hour is because it'll be a lot tighter.
The cars are going to have to handle a little bit better.
Yeah.
Daytona's got enough banking and stuff. All the cars handle good. I watched that truck race the other night. None of them cars, they couldn't even go straight down the straightaway.
I don't know. And the Xfinity race, I watched it after the race at Daytona, and they were just about as bad, Richard. But
the Cup cars were real steady.
Yeah.
I mean,
until somebody touched somebody.
Yeah. Yeah, but as far as jumping around down the straight, even in the corner.
But you know, you're talking about them not running wide open, all that, and running 180 mile an hour. When them things took off, I bet it felt like more than 180.
it picks up. but they had that one deal there that said they was running a football field every second.
Yeah,
that's how
they showed that
100 yards every second. And that's pretty quick.
Yeah.
If you had a football player could do that, you'd be in good shape, right?
Okay, we'll have to learn all we can. Of course, we know who we're going to pull for at Atlanta.
We've got that all figured out.
The 42 and the 43.
So we'll be back next week and talk about Atlanta, okay?
Okay.